So we're going to move on now to take a look at the how you go about doing this, the mechanics of it. So this isn't so much a what buttons do you press, although maybe show you that on the way through, but the literal mechanics of how I organise this within my classroom setting. How do I make this work? Picture the scene. You've just come up to the end of period 5, the class is leaving. Period 6, the class is just about to come in, and you've got 3 or 4 of your class off self-isolating, and you want to do the live stream. But in those precious few moments in between class, you know, there's an opportunity to do all sorts of things. You can be checking your emails, those urgent emails that are coming in. You can be setting up Sims, etc., getting the resources that you need for the class. So many things. Those few moments are very precious time-wise, so we need to make this time very, very efficient. So how do I actually go about doing that? How do I manage my time to make sure that it's efficient? Right, so I'm literally going to go through this. I have a couple of willing volunteers who have managed to get out of a library period to come and help me here. You can see their names have appeared up here, and this is basically the workflow that I'm operating. What I'll say to them if they're joining me from home, I want them to put their names into the learning log. Now what I've set up here is an opportunity for them to pop their initials in here. Just to let me know, because again, I just want this one-stop shop. I want to be able to jump in here and go, right, are the boys there that or the girls there that I'm expecting to be here? And I can just say, hello, live stream about to start, all okay. And that gives me an opportunity just to communicate with them quickly, just to let me know that they're there and for them to know that I'm here. There's only been one occasion where the technology has let me down, and I've been doing this, and it was whenever they were starting the work of putting the Wi-Fi into the live and the assembly hall just beside me, and I lost Wi-Fi for a period just when I was about to live stream. And being able just to go into my phone and do this allowed me to connect with the pupils, the Year 13 pupils at home, just to let them know I was there and trying to make it work. But because they're coming in advance, that's just me able to go straight on and do that. So I can then go in, once I've done that, to the actual classroom here. And then the link that you've set up, we just click onto that and I'm able to join. Camera is starting. Join now. And hopefully within a few moments those two boys will join me. I'm going to turn my camera on here. Oh no, I can't turn the camera on, that's right, because I'm recording this. You'll see it anyway elsewhere, but hopefully the audio's picking up, and we're just waiting for those boys then to join. Now at this point then, if there's other bits and pieces in terms of resources that I need to open up for the class, I can do that, or maybe a little bit of a conversation with the people that are actually physically in the class, and I can catch up with them. And then we're just waiting for the boys to appear. And there they go. Hello boys there. Camera can't be on because I'm using other software to record this, but I can see you there. And there they are. They're in the class, and I can demo to them the kinds of things that I'm going to be doing and going to be using. Now, these boys will know that one of the things that I love to use within my classroom is my flip chart. So if the camera was working, what I can do is to pull the flip chart just in front of the camera. Boys, you'll not see it this time because another app is using the camera, but I've just pulled the flip chart across here and I'm able to draw onto that. Also, if needs be, I can share my screen. I don't tend to do that too much, but just a very quick illustration for you to show you how easy that is. Click on there, and then I'm presenting my screen, and I can present whatever it is I want to show them. So maybe I want to show them the website and some of the resources that we're going through in the teaching content that I'm going over with them. I can share that with them as well. So I can either use the camera to show the flip chart like so, or I can share the screen, or some kind of combination of that. Right, but one of the reasons why the live stream approach would be such a good way of doing this is because it allows us to do a little bit of interaction with the pupils. So, gentlemen, can you unmute your mics there for me, please, and just confirm that you're hearing me okay?
Yeah, you're sweet. We can hear you.
Great. Now, what I will then do is I'm going to ask you a little bit of a question here. And the first thing we're going to do is get you to type in your answer in the chat function. Okay, so you didn't realise, boys, you were signing up for a wee bit of retrieval to practice in geography. Right, what I want you to do is in the chat function there, please, to type in as many of the characteristics as you can of a pyroclastic flow. Off you go. Okay, that's very good, Peter. You've given me some information there. So, Adam, now Peter's showing you up here. I know he's our class expert on pyroclastic flows, but let's see if you can get something in there as well. Oh, there you go. There we go. That's good. Right. Well, there you can see is one very, very easy way to get the pupils to interact. So what I could be doing is asking that question to the pupils in the class in front of me, and I could be asking the question to the pupils at home, and they can interact like that. And I can see that's very, very simple. But what if I'm wanting to do something a little bit further? Gentlemen, could you go into the Tectonics classroom there for me? And I have put in just a brand new link here for, I see you're in there already, just a wee test digital jotter. So,
I'll take a photo.
Yeah, so could you type in your names there, please? Go and get a slide there, each of you boys, and just type in your names there for me. Now, what you can see here, folks, is I can live monitor what they're doing. So I can go to slide view here and I can see what they're doing synchronously, and I can have a bit of an idea, keep up with how they're getting on with that. Right, gentlemen, again, I'm just going to ask you a little bit of a question here for this. What I would like you to do now, if you put a wee text box in there for me, I'd like you to write down just a sentence or two about how societal vulnerability influenced the impact of the Volcan de Fuego eruption. Now, again, you can absolutely see that I could be using this with pupils in the class, pupils at home, and it all works absolutely seamlessly. And again, I can go into a slide view here if I have a bigger class, and I can monitor who is doing what, and I can watch them typing in live. Yeah, so there you go. Repeat the task. So, if communication isn't working, this is very simple for me to do. They're able to just let me know. So I can maybe put a question in like this. How did societal vulnerability affect the impacts of the Volcan de Fuego? Apologies for my Spanish accent there, Alison. My Volcan de Fuego volcano or volcanic eruption in 2018. So I can put the question on there, and again, the folks in the class can see it, and the folks at home can see it. Now, what I can be doing is live monitoring again through that slide view, a whole bunch of them, and can see how they're getting on. I can go in and have a little bit of a look here, and I can give some live feedback to them. To let Adam type a little bit more here. Right, so Adam, I'm just going to pause you there. So see this bit here that you've got, that this is showing that the pyroclastic flow was made worse from the sudden collapse in the summit. Now, if I were to say to you, Adam, that's nothing that really any kind of management strategy could be expected to account for, that even the best monitored volcanoes in the world can't factor in those chance factors that would just happen at any one particular natural hazard. So we're thinking more specifically about why it was that the people in Los Lotes were more vulnerable than the people in La Reunion. So could you type down something about that, kind of focus more on that contrast between those two settlements for me, please? Okay, Peter, I'm just having a look at yours. Okay, good. Yeah, so you've started off there, Peter, with the focus on La Reunion, which is very good, is exactly what I would be looking for. And then, yes, Los Lotes, however. Yeah. Perfect, gents. Thank you very much. That's as far through that as I need to go with you, because that really just gives a bit of an indication of how we can use something like that. And again, whether the students are at home or whether the students are in class, that just works equally well, and you can see how easily I can give feedback. In many ways, actually, I can give feedback to a whole class more easily this way than I would if I was wandering around looking over their shoulders at what they were physically writing, because of this slide view where I can see where this is happening. Okay, gents, thank you very much for that. So what I want to do is just really then to focus in on one of the last bits of it. And this is, again, if you can unmute your mics for this one. So we've had the chat function for interaction. We've had the digital jotter for interaction. And I can just simply ask a question as well for this. So, Peter, let me put you on the spot. If you unmute your mic there for me.
Yep, I'm here.
Good man, good man. Okay, so Peter, I would like you please to tell me an example of somewhere which shows the social impact, economic impacts of a lava flow.
So lava flows, they usually flow quite slowly, however, and usually from shield volcanoes where they flow down at slow rates, like 2 or 3 meters per second, which is avoidable for people able to move out the way. However, for infrastructure and buildings, this is where the major damage will be caused. Like for towns, people's houses and settlements, over a few days may be destroyed by the lava flows.
Okay, that's excellent, Peter. Thank you very much. Adam, can you give me any examples around the world of places that we visited that would have illustrated what Peter's just talked about?
An example of that would be Palau in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Where lava flow came down and it destroyed many homes.
Yeah, Kilauea in Hawaii, yes, that's absolutely one of the best examples of a shield volcano. Oh yeah, you do absolutely want to show that off. Yeah, I should have asked you that question, shouldn't you? The Icelandic volcano in 2010, Adam, that caused flights to be grounded across Europe is called?
Eyjafjallajökull.
That's very good. Listen, I am in absolutely no position to judge your Icelandic pronunciation at all. Eyjafjallajökull is how I would say it, but who knows? It's certainly two blokes from Northern Ireland are definitely not experts in Icelandic. Okay, so what you can see there from that is some various ways that we can interact with the students, and whether they're in the class, you can imagine just the conversations going on within the class, very much like that, or as well as the students at home, and it just shows you some of those ways. Okay, so what I was just really keen to do, now that we've demoed how we work this, is to try and get a bit of an idea from your point of view as to what this has been like sitting in here. Now, Peter, you haven't had to self-isolate yet, sure you haven't?
Not yet,
No, you were close, but you just about escaped from Mr. Reevy's measuring tool.
close 2 times.
Yeah. So, what's it been like for you as somebody sitting in class, realizing that maybe up to half the class has been at home and interacting like this? So, obviously, I've just shown the staff how we've been doing it. What have been your experiences as a pupil doing that? Positive and negative. How's it been for you?
So we think in geography, for example, where we've been using Google Meets and there's been people in the classroom, it's definitely not as bad as maybe I thought it was going to be. So we were able to, the lesson was still able to flow in the same way as it probably would have, like this week, for example, where everyone's been in the classroom, but we didn't need to use Google Meets. So you're able to talk to people in Google Meets and they were able to respond, and then you're able to ask us the same questions. Probably only because there would be less people actually in the room. You probably feel more comfortable, or maybe not as comfortable speaking out, or maybe just because there's less people, it's a different kind of class. And in a group discussion, you can't really discuss with each other as much compared to like when everyone's in Google Meets or when everyone's in the class, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, group discussions, socially distanced, are a different kind of group discussion than they would have been before. But I'm interested to hear you say at the start there that your experience of being in the class felt pretty much the same as what it would have been anyway, because that's one of the things I was really keen to do, that looking after both sets of pupils means that the pupils in the class with me have as normal a learning experience as we possibly can have in these crazy times. So that's good to hear that your experience of sitting in the class, whether I've been live streaming or whether everybody's been there, has been largely the same. Weird, but largely the same, whether people are all in or partly in. Adam, you haven't been quite so lucky. You've been hit once, isn't that right, with a period of self-isolation? Yeah.
I got hit once.
Okay, so I'm interested now to hear from your point of view. Peter was saying that it felt reasonably similar for him whether you guys were in or whether you guys were at home. But what's it like sitting at home joining in to a live stream class?
I didn't enjoy it at first. Like, I really despised it. I'm just like, I could be like playing PlayStation or something. I don't have to be sitting here if I want to. But then as the week got on and started getting more boring, like, it gave you something to do, and like, so I was good in that aspect. But like, I would have much preferred being in like the actual class, because I just enjoy it more, because like I like talking to people, and like, I don't know, I just find it weird over like a camera, but it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not the same. From our point of view, what we're trying to do is to minimise the impacts, but it's certainly having impacts. I think one of the things that I was keen to do is to actually, and I'm interested to hear you say, looking forward to it, is to actually to give you something, if I could even be as bold as to say, to look forward to. Not necessarily because you're looking forward to geography, but it is volcanoes, which is pretty exciting, I guess. But it's just at least something of some form of human interaction and contact during the day. So that's good to hear that you were getting some positive experiences from that. The other thing, though, that I'm interested in is your experience of learning from home. If we didn't have something like this set up whenever you went home for those 2 weeks, it would have been a case of maybe using Google Classroom. There are the notes. I certainly don't have time at the moment to go and record a whole bunch of videos the way that I did during lockdown in May and June. So it would have been a case of, right, over you go, read the notes. Good luck. Obviously, that's not what we've done. So in terms of your learning experience, what was it like learning from home, and what was it like when you came back in? To what extent did you feel like you were more or less at the same place as everybody else?
I felt like, whilst learning at home, I felt like, so like geography was quite engaging. Like, you were asked questions, but there was other subjects where I felt like it could have been more engaging, and like in the classes. So like they could have maybe asked you more like questions, but like in like some classes, for instance, I felt like I was just sitting and like listening in, and I'm just like, oh right. But then like I was also like talked to as well, so that was fine. And then what was the other half of that? Sorry,
And
it
then,
was
yeah, whenever you came back
coming
in
back. It was,
after,
yeah.
yeah. Did you feel like you were much behind everybody else that had been able to stay in school?
Not particularly, because I had read over the notes. And like, for example, we had that geography test there at the start of the week, and I felt like I'd done quite good in that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And from your point of view then, being able to listen into the explanations and all the stuff that I would do to try and ask you those questions to get the stuff into your head, and the stories that I was telling about the case study and things like that, you found that helped you whenever you were reading over the notes. It brought more meaning
Yeah.
to them.
I felt like I could like make like summary notes on what you had said, and then like go like after the lesson and take like the document and try and like analyze it, and then like pick out the key points.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for being willing to demo this on behalf of all the other teachers in the school. You've given it a really good opportunity for them to see how we're doing this, and thanks also for your honesty. Yeah, I mean, it is a case of us dealing with a completely unprecedented set of circumstances and trying to make sure that the impacts are as minimal as they possibly are. So it's good to hear that you found that. I am also encouraged because this has been a big part of it as well for me. Part of why I'm enjoying being physically in the building of school is that interaction. Sitting at home during lockdown, very, very quickly you got bored. So the opportunity to have that interaction in school is important, and it's part of what I want to try and do through the Google Meets that we're doing as well. So I'm glad that you found that to be the case as well, Adam. Okay, boys. Well, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. So that's the end of the live stream. I need to get ready for my hypothetical next class about to come in, and I'll see you next time. Keep checking the learning log. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye.